I was recently chatting with someone who reached out to me because they were looking into getting MCAT accommodations, and I realized I haven't talked about MCAT accommodations on here in a hot minute, so let's chat. For those of you who have gone through the process or are maybe considering going through the process, you already know it's terrible, it's time consuming, it costs a lot of money, and overall it's just a 0 out of 10 experience. Having gone through the process myself and kind of reflecting back on that time, there are a lot of bits and pieces of advice that I wish someone would have given me that I just did not have access to because people don't really speak openly about it on the internet. And one of those pieces of advice has to do with getting a psychiatric evaluation and how to do this without it costing $4,000 to $5,000, which is the standard for it. Even with most insurances, this is still the cost of it, which is ridiculous and just adds another barrier to getting accommodations for the MCAT because it is mostly required for, proving that you need them and proving that you have the disability that you say you have. So I wanted to speak on one of the ways that I personally went about this to find a cheaper alternative, which I have heard has worked for other people as well, now that I give advice to people who are going through a similar process. So what I did at the time was I reached out to the Student Disability Center of the undergraduate institution that was closest to me. At the time, I was spending most of my time in Tallahassee, Florida, so I reached out to Florida State University's Student Disability Center. And I asked them if they had a list of trusted providers who accepted my particular insurance or who had reduced cost for psychiatric evaluations for the purposes of getting MCAT testing accommodations. And not only did they give me a complete list of providers, they also had a rundown of what insurances each one of them took, and also what each one provided. So from there, I was able to kind of contact each person on this list, find out who had the fastest availability for me to get a psychiatric evaluation. And I was also able to talk with different providers about how much the cost of it would be, and a lot of them were very transparent about it from the jump. I ultimately found a provider that was about like an hour and a half from where I lived that would do a psychiatric evaluation and the entire process for less than $500, which is a lot, but it's a steal compared to how much this costs normally. So if you are in this process, I highly recommend that you reach out to the student disability centers of the institutions that are nearby to you to see if they can provide a list for you. Good luck, and let me know if you have any questions.